Perfect.
And we are back with more Shadows of the Empire on the N64.
Did pretty good that last level.
Yeah, pretty easy.
Yeah, it was nice.
So here we go. Updating data. Get some more lives for later. But you want to build up your lives because...
You didn't need them.
Yes. Yeah. Well, there's a few levels later that are...
There's one level in particular later that I remember.
Yeah.
And when we get to it, I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story when we get to it.
The Empire has destroyed the main generator. The shield door to Bay 3 is closed and we can't take off. You must activate the emergency generators on the lower level to open the door. Alright. So, let's look at Dash here for a bit. Okay.
Wow.
You gotta check him out. His face. So you can play first person, which I love that this is an option. It's great.
It is cool.
And it's actually useful in some of the parts. Also, just... Okay. Let's look at his face here.
Super tan.
Let's see if we can get a
good face tan.
Look it over here.
There you go.
Oh.
Whoa.
Meh, I'm just random. Meh, meh, meh. I'm just random.
That's beautiful. It's like the perfect beginning to a movie.
So this definitely comes in handy on some of the parts, you know. I mean, the camera angles were a cool thing. Like, you didn't have that in games where you could switch around and look at them. You can even pull way back and do this. And you can go way in, all the way to first person. Or just,
I would like that view right there. I
just
like
over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I usually play right about here, I think.
That's pretty good.
Let's see. Yeah, for some boss fights, but this is good. This is also kind of funny. You're way bigger than the snowspeeder is. I'm a giant. It's kind of fun.
It's one for each foot.
All right, let's go blast some. I love this part. Check out the Falcon.
Look at that beautiful shit.
There he goes. Yeah, he's kind of got an auto aim that he does. We see that when he's starting to fire, and he'll kind of auto aim, but it's not instant. So you kind of have to make sure you're aiming right at him, at the snowtroopers.
You think he's cold right here?
You know, I'm looking at that outfit, and it's got to be like a thermal, like it heats him up a little bit.
To be.
And he's a badass, smuggler, so he doesn't need sleeves.
Now, he's almost the same color as that strip of, I'm assuming it's some kind of hide running down the back of his pants.
I think he may have pooped himself.
No, I'm just thinking that maybe that's just like laced up, like chaps or something.
Alright, there's Star Wars chaps.
Star Wars chaps. Star Wars chaps.
Alright, here we go. We're gonna check out what's in here. Poor stormtroopers. So, got some wampas. Just chilling, just hanging.
Wampa stomper.
Now, this is on Echo Base. Apparently, the rebels have been capturing wampas and just, putting them in here. Hey, boys, what's up? How's it going? Oh. Now, check this out. They are gonna fight.
Oh, I remember that. Sam was so creepy as a kid.
So, you could totally just let them fight in here.
That's what it's for.
And wait until the last one is standing and then kill him. I don't think there's any reason to do that.
It's a Wampa Rebel pit.
Because I think we got the thing that we needed in there. Oh, poor guys.
Wow.
So, Shadows of the Empire, I'll do a little
Tell me some facts.
Let's talk about what Shadows of the Empire was. This is a really cool thing they did back in, I guess, was it the 90s? Yeah. We got snowtroopers. Snowtroopers going down. So what they did is they basically made everything except a movie. They made a video game. They wrote a book. They had a soundtrack made, which is some of the score is actually in the game. The later levels, especially, you'll hear some of the music. And what else did they do? They had Well, they had action figures.
I was going to say, didn't they re-release a line of action figures?
They did all kinds of stuff. They did every single thing except for actually make a film.
Right.
So the storyline takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo has been captured by Boba Fett, and his friends are basically out to find him and rescue him. And in the game, you play as Dash Rendar, who's basically Han Solo.
Okay.
You know, because Han Solo's not around, so in the book they have this character Dash Rendar, who's kind of he's the scoundrel.
Okay.
And it's really cool because the game is kind of like you get to do some of the stuff that's separate in the book. They don't go into it. You're more with Luke and Leia and Chewie and all that stuff. But in the game, you get to go do your thing as Dash.
That's pretty sweet. And now, as a kid, when I had this, I was young enough and not into Star Wars so much that I knew.
How dare you?
All this stuff. So I just kind of played it as just the gameplay and just had a blast with it.
Yeah.
You know, I knew enough to know, you know, what characters were and things like that, but not enough to tie the stories together. So that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, I ate, slept, and shit Star Wars.
Well, you should have got paid.
We kind of talked about in the last episode. Well, so this was just, I mean, this was a personification of all of that. I could actually live out some of the adventure.
How important was this game to you as a kid?
Check it out.
Or not important, but what?
This door looks a little bit weird. It's indented here. Right. You get these challenge points. That's another thing that I don't want to. I want to hear what you're going to say, but this game is riddled with challenge points and secrets and things like that, and you get to unlock. You get all the challenge points. You get to unlock things. They don't really do that in games as much anymore. I don't think. I mean,
that's another thing we keep saying, but I'm not going to stop saying it.
What?
I think it needs to be said every time. The game developers need to go back to this old school style of, hey, instead of charging you $5 every month for a new multiplayer level or something, why don't you put the time into playing the game we made, and here you go.
Oh, that Wampa just came out of I must have tapped something to open the door. I don't think you opened it. Hey guys, why don't you fight each other?
You're becoming smarter. How creepy would that be? It used to be like
that would actually be really creepy.
Two officers
slowly walking towards you.
Yeah.
What's the matter, girl? You smell something?
Yeah, game developers need to. I don't know. There just needs to be more. Like you're paying.
I think there's still games that have unlockables and things like that, and stuff to find. But they definitely would rather have you pay $5 to get a lot.
Yeah.
And there was a level of challenge to this game. You could play it on easy and have fun and have the adventure and all that. But getting all the challenge points was a really cool thing. If you get all the challenge points on easy, it actually unlocks. It gives you a map so that on medium mode, you know where they all are, and then you can go get them. But it's a lot harder, to actually beat the game. But they're like, look, you found them all. We don't want to make you have to try to, remember where they were. So you get this cool little grid.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it was a reward for finding them all, and then you got to actually beat medium mode, which I'm hoping to do. I don't think I did it as a kid. Well, you can see that I'm getting hit a little bit here. There's not much I can do about that.
I feel like the unlockables and stuff nowadays in games are just a reason to throw an achievement point in.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh, I almost died.
You don't really get anything from it other than the achievement point, or like a gamer pick. It's like, give me something. Like,
yeah, actually a reward for looking around and finding these things.
Spending the time in the game that you've made, like experiencing everything, which I don't know. It bums me a little bit. But back to what I was saying earlier. Ooh, that's super dark.
Yeah, okay.
Whoa, that's
I should bring that
dark.
up. Later levels on my TV here. I'm not sure how it'll look on the recording necessarily, but crazy dark. I'll be turning the brightness up to
you're gonna
100 on those later levels. Did I go backwards? I went backwards. So
you're gonna have to.
Oh boy. Okay.
There it is. Okay.
I gotta. Okay. So if you hold down the Z button, you can kind of aim your blaster. What I love about it is there's no like reticle or anything like that. It's very cinematic. You just kind of watch where your laser blasts.
Yeah, it doesn't really pull you out. That's nice. I don't think I.
Oh, Wilhelm scream.
There it was. There it was. Famous screen.
Let's see. This guy's up here.
Okay.
He's looking up at it. Like,
is he gonna limbo?
Up there? You kind of watch dash and look for that. You know, like, is he looking at something? What's he doing?
So I want to go back to this. What did this game mean to you when it came out?
Yeah, you were asking me that earlier.
What emotions? What did it mean to you? What was your experience like? Can you remember that stuff?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So, what happened was I think I got this around Christmas time. I had also saved up the Nintendo 64 was the first console I spent my own money on. I put it on layaway, I think at Kmart, and I finally got a Nintendo 64 with my own money, and I was just I just wanted one so bad. There's just so many cool games. Seeing Mario 64 for the first time, was unreal. So I mean, crazy. It was full 3D. It looked amazing to me. I remember going to Toys R Us and just standing in awe, going, "What am I looking at? What is this?" Picking up the controller and being like, "What is this?" You know, just. And I played the heck out of the stuff at my friend's house. So I got a Nintendo 64. Didn't even get a game. I'd saved up $200, I think is what it was, and I didn't even get a game at that point. And let's see. I'm gonna stand here. I didn't even get a game for it. I come home, or my dad comes home from being in town one day, and I'm just super happy I've got a Nintendo 64. But I didn't have any games, and he comes and looks at me funny, and all of a sudden he's throwing a game at me, and I've got Wave Race, right?
Oh, Wave Race.
And I played the heck out of Wave Race. It was a great game, but with the Nintendo 64, with Shadows of the Empire, my buddy already had it.
Okay.
And I knew I was getting it for Christmas because my parents were terrible at, like, you know, like, oh, so what do you think of that Star Wars game that's over there and stuff? And I'm like, it's awesome. He's like, oh, well, whatever. You know, like trying to see if I would want it.
Feeling you out.
And I knew I was going to get it for Christmas. And so my buddy had it, and he's playing it like crazy. I would leave the room and be like, I don't want to see it, I don't want to see it. Because I knew I was getting it. So I finally get it. And it was just, I remember thinking, these graphics look so real. The ships look so real. You know, and it was a dream come true. This game was super fun. Did
you feel that it did your imagination of Star Wars justice?
Yeah. You could actually kind of live out the adventure. I don't know. I'm making it sound like this huge thing, but it kind of was.
Well, yeah, especially if it was that, you know, if you enjoyed Star Wars
was
much.
That big, yeah. And I don't know. I don't know if this game got good ratings back in the day. I don't think people thought it sucked. I always thought it was good. I always thought the controls were good, you know, and so
many fun memories for me. I can't wait to tell my story for that level later. It's weird. It's a weird story, man. So the red. Okay, I was gonna say the red hoods explode.
This guy. Oop. This turret's really blast, yeah.
Yeah, they do. The thing I remember a lot from this was just how awesome the sound was. I'd turn up the TV and just listen.
Yeah, and they give you options here,
right?
You can turn the sound effects up like all the way, or you can have them lower and have more music playing, and stuff like that. And that was really cool.
Oh yeah, especially because it was a really good, like, you know, this was early '90s, right? So, you know, you're still recording songs off the radio or cassette tapes. So,
one of the things,
being able to have that Star Wars, you know, soundtrack.
Well, hell, I used to play Super Star Wars, and I would literally go listen to the music because you could go to the music track and just listen to the music on the options.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was so cool. And this one had real music, you know?
I missed that feature in some games.
Well, I think we've got a little bit more of the level to play here. Probably a good point to stop because we're about halfway through.
Yeah.
I think this area of Echo Base.
Told some good stories and reminisce.
Reminisce, man, because there's going to be a lot of that talking about good old Shadows of the Empire. Dash is just kind of looking around going, what are we doing, guys? Are we going to do this? It's pretty good.
That's a good one right there.
It's pretty, yeah, woo,
Yeah.
Dash. It's scary to look at him.
It's kind of creepy.
But yeah, we'll come back. We'll play some more Echo Base, Shadows of the Empire on Lords of Leisure.
Later.